I swear I'm good. I'm good. Aiden, and this is the VG Punk channel. Alright, here's the Magnolia deck profile. It is one of my favorite decks to play, even though it's not that good. But to each their own. If you like the deck, go ahead and play it. Compared to the other decks, this one is much less rigid in the deck build, so you are more than free to switch a lot of stuff around depending on how you like to play a multi-attack deck, you know? So, I switch out the ride line because I used to play the Zorga ride line for the grade 1 and 2 because I had more order, but spoiler alert, I have less order in this deck, so I'm going to play the Magnolia ride line to give me more field advantage. And then the only grade 3, much like other deck profile, the only grade 3 I'm going to play is the Persona ride itself. And then moving on to grade 2, one of the new addition is Silverhorn Beast N-Bar, Great Shield and Great Attacker at the same time. Oh, it's a bit, is it too okay, we're good. Great Shield and Great Attacker at the same time. Not much to say. It's a Great Shield and a Great Attacker. It's one of those rare 10k shield that's actually good, so you have more shield. Drink every single time I say shield. And you have more shield. Shield. The other grade 4 that I chose to use, and this is also a flexible spot, is the dammmmmn. It I should put the SP up first. Anyway, the dammmmmn, it allowed me to multi-attack outside of Magnolia effect for a Soul Blast, which it's pretty good, and it can pump its power up if you choose it for one of Magnolia effect, which is pretty good. I play 4 off of it just to get it early, you know. On the first Magnolia rides, you don't get the Persona, you don't get the additional effect of Magnolia from Persona, so this guy helped you get that extra attack, which is pretty good in my opinion. And it doesn't hurt that he also looked great. And now another new addition is 2 of the Gap Break. This guy is a great attacker, but do be careful because, you know, you run out of soul and you're gonna have to it's really based on your opponent's field, so it really match dependent. That's why I only run it at 2, and you can fetch it if you really need it. There's a card for that later. But yeah, just play 2 off of that. But if a lot of deck you play is like a full field deck, I would recommend playing more. Next up is the great ones, and we have 2 Adamantis. Same reason that I play it in the past deck profile and other Stoicheia deck profile. It gives power. There isn't a really good alternative right now. You can play more of the other stuff I'm showing, but 2 of these are good just in case you need that extra power. Drink every single time I say extra power. Extra power. Like I say, if I play not a full playset of it, there's a good chance that you could switch it around and you'll be fine. I played 3 of the Kuchi. I feel really bad whenever I say this guy's name because it reminds me of a certain body part. Anyway, a lot of people would recommend playing 4 of this guy. I would too, but I don't know. I feel weird like maxing it out because I don't really, I mean, this guy will go along with this girl, you know? And I only play 2 of her. she protect your stuff, and she allowed you to like Tetris all of your unit around, which is great. Like, I'm not saying these cards bad, but it's just I don't want to rely on this combo, you know, because a lot of my attacks focus on my grade 2 now instead of my grade 1. Coochie is awesome, but I don't want to rely on it. Another new addition is Prize Trident, something from Flagbird, but it allows you to get a soul and a counter charge. Great resource, and hitting 5 attack is actually not that hard with Magnolia, especially with Magnolia effect. It's add-on effect from Persona Rai and the Ninetail Fox that I also play. Great. Next is PG. 4 of these PG. Duh. Get used to it. You're gonna see those PG until we get better PG, which I don't think we will. Alright, what would I call these? Like the star card of the deck, the VIP, the card that you always want to see every single game, like complete staple. This allowed you to fill up your field from the drop zone. Right now, there's nothing that buying your stuff, which is great. Now you basically you built a field because of this guy. Like I don't, in my opinion, I don't think you should play less than 4 of these. Some people might differ, but the way I play, I love that card. Now we're moving on to trigger. So 1 over trigger, that's a given. 4 heal trigger, that's also a given, and this is where it's gonna start to look weird. I play 1 front trigger for the extra shield. I play 4 crit trigger, and if you have a playset of this girl, play all 4 playset. She provides soul and power, which could be good, but do remember you are giving up 15k shield. And then for the rest of the trigger, I chose to play draw trigger because this deck at the moment, it doesn't have any effect that allowed you to draw a card. So you don't have a consistent effect. You don't have a consistent way to draw a card outside of draw trigger. So I'm just gonna play these guys. Hopefully we get more draw in the future to mitigate the fact that we have to fill up a field, and the field control of this at this time is like really good, so we're gonna have to keep refilling the field somehow. Well, that grade 0 order is the reason, it's how you're gonna refill that field. Anyway, that is the deck profile. Yeah, so I think it changed a lot because now I stopped playing as much order. I stopped playing as much order as I used to, so I'm back to playing this right line. Oopsie. And the stuff in the right line is also something you can call back for the grade 1, grade 0 order, which is great. I took out the grade 3 that's on hit. Add a copy of your Vanguard from drop zone to hand, because you know people are not gonna let that hit, and I don't want to rely on it. I rather rely on something that's more reliant, such as this guy for multi-attack. But yeah, when you call stuff, I would recommend trying to call as much of these guys as possible because they're great. They attack and then bounce back to hand, which protect them from getting destroyed. Anyway, that's the Magnolia deck profile. Trying to get this thing to the center. That's the Magnolia deck profile. It is every single time I make a deck profile, I say that it's my favorite deck, but all of the decks I play are my favorite decks. So tell me what you think about it, and how does your Magnolia deck profile differ from this new support? Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now. If you can't tell, I'm slowly getting over my sickness, and hopefully by the end of the week, when Christmas starts, dear Lord, I'll be over it. Anyway, take care. Remember to take care of yourself, and I'll be seeing you real soon, my love.